Welcome back, everybody, to Ready, Aim, Live. I'm Jose.
And I'm Wes. And, man, there's been so much going on in the world lately.
Oh, dude, so much. Oh, it's terrible, man.
Well, I mean, we don't want to get too off topic with, the topic that we're going into today. But, man, our hearts and thoughts go out to, everything that's going on in the world right now. Thoughts and prayers to Australia. There seems to be way too much craziness going on.
Way too much. I cannot believe it's gotten to that. And, we talk about Second Amendment a lot, and I just want to throw this in there. What would it be like there if they did have a Second Amendment in place right now?
That's a question for the ages. But, our actual, topic for today is a little bit of a misconception, if you will, on the different types of ammo out in the world. And one of those being 7.62 by 51 versus the 308 Winchester.
Yeah, they're very easily confused. Some people like it. It really is. It's pretty much the same round. But they do have their small differences, and it's just one of those rounds that kind of gets thrown around a lot, and I think gets people kind of jumbled up. So we figured kind of go in depth for it, kind of explain a little bit more into it on the main differences behind them.
And just starting off, the 7.62 NATO. Was a small arms fighting round for lightweight machine guns and sniper rifles for regular infantry rifles.
In 1957, NATO adopted the 7.62 NATO, 7.62 by 51. They adopted that round. But in 1952, the Winchester 308 was made for civilian public, mainly used as a hunting round. That was its main purpose. But in 1957, NATO was able to acquire that is their new service weapon. They put them in the M14s. Yeah. So the M14s were shooting 7.62 NATO. And, you can, the 7.62 NATO really is more of a military round. And that's why a lot of people like them, is because it's military surplus ammo. It's cheap. You can usually find that way more often than you can find 308 on the shelf. I mean, that's usually, hell, throughout the whole crisis and everything, when all the prices were slashed, the only thing I always seen on the shelf was 7.62 by 51.
So, what was the reason why they started making the 308 then?
Well, 308 was made for hunting. It was a civilian round. It was made for hunting. And when they realized how great the 308 was and the high pressure, the amount of pressure that was behind the bullet, it was appeasing. So they were able to craft the 7.62 by 51, which came out because it was meant for long distance small arms fighting, like you said, like machine guns, sniper rifles. Yeah. So the 7.62 was around before the 308, and the NATO was trying to get it patent, and it took so long because of all the testing that Winchester took the design and came out with the 308 into the civilian market. And you got to think, that happened in 1952. It took NATO 5 years. 1957 is when they were able to adopt it and bring it in. So it took them 5 years on all the red tapes, everything that they have to go through. 5 years. Winchester took the advantage too. I mean, more than 5 years. That's just after Winchester came out. It was in development way before then. So I'm sorry, that 5 years is wrong, but multiple years to just try to get that passed. But Winchester, I think, did a great thing. 308's an amazing round. It's gotten so much more popularity over the years. Like I said, after putting in the M14, everyone's loving shooting that round. So it's definitely a popular round that I think has gained a lot more traction from over time, for sure.
And, to the naked eye, they would actually look the same. But in retrospect, the 7.62 NATO is actually slightly bigger than 308, which means that if you were going to try and use them together, you can in certain firearms, mind you, but you definitely need to read on what your specs are for your firearm, because they are interchangeable to a certain degree, but that's all about the actual user and what the user is actually using it for and how they're using it. From some of our research, it seems that if you're hand feeding it with like a bolt action, that it's going to work pretty much seamlessly. But if you're trying to use any sort of rotary, it's going to catch up too much. In a 308 chambered rifle, the 7.62 isn't going to want to cycle as well.
Yeah, definitely. The headspace, it's too much. You get way too much pressure, and your gun goes boom.
Well, I really don't want to put a thumb in it, so let's go ahead and stay away from that. But I personally see that's kind of where, like, even now, like, I'm wanting to build a 308 because of the market that it is, and it is actually pretty accessible even now. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's still accessible.
Definitely.
And even the 7.62x51 is still accessible, just not as widely accessible as I would want. But being able to do my own research and to see if my firearm would be able to use both is definitely a plus, especially if it becomes booming popular again with the 308. People start buying it up. At least I know that I would be able to, in some cases, use the 7.62x51. So I like that versatility, like a 5.56, 2.23. It seems to be a nice little fallback plan.
I definitely agree on that. I think like that's just one of those things. It's like, okay, so I have this 308. I love it. I always shoot 308 out of it. Not a problem. But stored away just for a rainy day, maybe 500 rounds of some 7.62x51 just to have off in the back, just in case emergency ammo. Yep. Especially if I already got military surplus, it's already old ammo as it is. It's that's a in case of emergency type situation, you can have that in the background. You're always gonna find it. It's usually cheaper. So
there would probably be one instance where 308's just going to get burned through, and that'd be whenever we buy a SCAR. So when we get into the SCAR territory, that's when your little surplus of 308's going to go way out the window, because we're going to want to shoot that and make videos on it and break it down probably all the time for at least the first little while. So
I can't wait, dude. Oh my god, I cannot wait for one of us to get the SCAR. Well, I think that's everything for you guys today. We definitely have more content coming. Getting back in the woods here soon. Get some more MRE videos. If you guys can please like, subscribe, comment, hit this notification bell, and get notifications. We try to release a video every week and maybe every other week. We want to hear your guys' opinions. Anything that you feel like you would like us to review or go over. Any suggestions you have. Anything that you think we could do better even. Anything to help us improve. Anything that we might not know. You have anything else for them?
Please check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We got reels going up all the time. Really enjoying being able to put out content and getting lots of love on it. Hit that notification bell like Jose already said. And always remember, guys,
who's got your six?